Some may call it skill issue, but I think there's nothing wrong in upgrading to a nice modern day reverse camera. So if you come over here, we'll have a little look at what we've got. Quite standard really. We've got the reverse camera that simply drills and then bolts into the rear of the vehicle. The loom will follow the door around the back. Looks like a snake's wedding. It's because it is, but don't be afraid. The main black wire, simply this runs across the whole length of the car, and this is your video output. Now when you're connecting your video output, this has to go to your head unit. Some head units will have a video output connector on the back of it. Luckily our head unit came with a harness, so we can connect that up. If yours doesn't have a harness, don't worry, you can get these online. You just need to get the correct one for your make and model. We also have a little live wire coming off the video cable. We're going to come back to that in a little bit and we'll show you why this is important. If we go back up the loom, we then have a live and an earth cable. Now these are going to connect to the live of our reverse light, so we get power when we're in reverse, and then the black, or the black and red in this case, this is just going to go to the earth. You can connect these and cut directly into your reverse light wiring, but that can get a little bit messy. So what we've got here is a lovely little pre-made harness. We're doing it on a Defender today. You can get these for most cars. You just need to make sure the plugs that you get are correct for the car you're using. This basically is just going to stop us from chopping into all our wiring, and it's going to give us a nice cable and a nice loom setup. We're going to start by hooking up those two, the live and the earth. This is going to give us power to the camera. So we've got these lovely little connectors. So connecting our live and our earth, these connectors are hassle-free ways to hook up wire, and they're brilliant. We're gonna go over how we plug these in, but the wires go in, you clamp them down, you do the same with another one, the other side, and then these just slot together. To double up on protection and make sure that these don't come apart while driving, they shouldn't, but as an extra layer of kind of security, we are going to put a heat shrink over it and test the continuity. Let's start off with our harness. So it's as simple as put your cable in, and then the live, if it'll go, get in the hole, get your mind out the gutter. There we go. So as simple as that. Through the plastic. When we clamp down, you'll see these little brass connectors inside. They're going to make a connection through the sheathing with the live and the earth. They can be a little bit stiff, so we're going to get some pliers on it, shut it down by hand as much as we can, and then hopefully just prise them together. And like that, we've got a lovely solid connection in there. Then we're going to put our heat shrink over, and then we're going to get on with the camera side. So we've got this clamped up on the table just so you can see them. Usually you need to be a bit of an octopus to do this yourself, but it's always worth checking, especially with new harnesses, or if you've put a new connector on, just checking continuity before you fit it to the car, so you don't have any roadblocks down the line. So we're just going to check that everything is connected up and we have got continuity. Live on the our new connector, and then we're just going to test. Yep, we've got continuity there. And then on the plug going to the tail light, we've got continuity in there, and we can also do it on the negatives. Perfect. So now we're going to fit the connector on the other side coming from the camera, live and earth. This is then going to connect to our loom. Then we're going to go chuck it in the car. So same again, take your live, chuck it in a hole. Take your earth, chuck it in a hole, and clamp it down. You don't have to go overkill with the pliers, you just want to make sure that that's all nice and tight. Look at that, solid. The next thing is we can connect these two together. So we've got power and earth going to the camera from our reverse light. Essentially when the reverse is engaged, power goes to the light, power goes to the camera. And these two just simply clip in like that. Fantastic. And that, we now have a whole loom. To make sure it's double safe, we're also going to heat shrink this connector. They are very solid, but while we're here, we may as well make it even more solid. So I'm going to put a little heat shrink over there. Then somewhere I've got, I'd recommend using a heat gun. We don't have a heat gun, we have a blowtorch. Just be super careful not to burn your wires. So just very gentle heat. Keep them nice and secure. And there we go. So it's not to secure the cables, it's just to secure that plug we've put in. That adds a little bit of extra security. Peace of mind, when we tuck this behind some of the trim in the car, we just know that that's not going to rattle loose. That's all connected nicely with a nice heat shrink around it. Next bit is let's go to the car, bang some holes in the rear door, fit the reverse camera, rip some trim off, get the camera fitted. Taken a rear seat out here, we've taken the trim off the back door. Your car may be different, how you get your trims off and how you're going to get to your reverse light. Probably a lot simpler than this one. But if you look down there, there's a little bung coming up from all the wiring looms. So we're going to pop that out, and that is where we're going to feed our camera wires through. Or at least the power wires anyway, going to the reverse light. So we're going to crack on with that. Then the next bit will be taking some of the trim off, or tucking the wires behind the trim. There is a bit of room behind here, so we may just tuck them behind. I don't think there's any need to rip it all out. And we should be able to see our connector. This is where the loom will make a little bit more sense now. So our loom is going to bridge the gap between our factory OEM plug and the reverse light. Pops out like that. We've got a little bung here, we've just got to pop out and get to the reverse light. That should just pop out like that. With the bung out, we can see the wiring loom popping up, and we're going to feed our connector that we put on earlier, going to our power for the reverse, through there, down to the reverse light, connect that up. These wires will then come back up through and up this rear pillar here. So a little bit of a tight squeeze, but we can luckily feed our plugs through the bung here. Being very, very, very careful. And just like that, we've got our harness through. Then we drop it down here. If we get our fingers in there, we need our reverse plug. That's going to provide power to the camera. That should connect to there. We'll give it a bit of a clean. It's a Land Rover, so we're not overly fussed about it getting dirty. That's what they're made for. Dropping that like that. Then we get our reverse light. Like that. The camera should now have power to it from that reverse light. We'll chuck the wire into the front, we'll connect it up to the head unit, leave that loose, and we'll see if we get an image. We've got the head unit out the front. This is our adapter harness. This simply should just dunk into there. When we take our cable for the video input, you'll usually have a lot of different tabs. It will usually be pretty clear which one you need. Rear camera, that should go in there like that. Now this wire, this is the one we mentioned earlier. So this is for this live on the head unit. So when this wire goes live, this will give a live to the head unit, and it will switch your screen automatically when you go into reverse. We'll hook it up crudely, and then we'll come back and we'll make it a bit better. We're just going to strip some of this wire back. Same with this one. Like that. And then we'll just give these a little wrap. We'll chuck a bit of tape on there just to stop it shorting on the frame. We will tidy this up, and then hopefully now, with these lives connected, with our video in, we should be able to let's turn it on. Let's see if a camera showing something. Go into reverse. Whee! And we have a reverse camera. So now the next thing is to do is to get all the wiring tidied up and feed the wiring up through the roof liner, down through this pillar, behind the dash. Sounds a little bit daunting, but it's just trim. It's just a few clips. So yeah, we're going to get that all put together now. We've marked up the top with a bit of blue tape We're going to use this tool, which will give us a nice little punch and a centre hole to start drilling to. Then we'll shove a drill through it, mount the camera. We've had the dash up, we've got our wires routed through now. Goes all the way from the back, the side trim, roof lining, down the A-pillar, through the dash, and through the hole in the din for the head unit. So now we're going to connect a bit better and a bit cleaner the live feed to the head unit and the live from the camera. Again, this is just the signal. When you go into reverse, you get power, the screen will go into reverse and show your camera. So we're going to get that hooked up now. That felt positive. It's always the last one, isn't it? Lovely, there you go. So that's all wired up. Now we'll drop it back in. Look at that. Awesome. Right, dash back on. We'll sort this wiring out and we'll get that tucked under the headlining. We've left that bit of wiring just because we need to work with some of the slack. We're probably going to leave the slack behind the dash, but we don't know. So we're going to tidy that up now and get that all squared away. If you've made it this far, you are an incredible human being. It does the channel a huge favour if you could hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get more videos from us in the future. So back up the garage today, it's about a week has passed. We really thought that the plug and play camera would be plug and play. Turns out it's far from it. It's there's a few little issues which have caused us a bit of delay. So we're going to go over them today, show you some of the problems, what we've encountered, and hopefully how to not make these mistakes if you try to do it. This is specific to the Defender. I imagine on some other cars that it wouldn't be as time consuming and as much as a headache as we've had. But let's go have a look. Over our little bench of tricks, and you may notice there's not one but two cameras. Unfortunately, this is the one where I think the video cable's gone kaput. And this one is the one we're going to plug in and try today, hopefully get mounted. And you may also notice we've got some nice little speakers. You may have seen in the car that we have a CarPlay head unit. Unfortunately, the CarPlay head unit, the power that outputs of the built-in amp has just completely wiped out the 20-year-old Land Rover speakers. So we're also going to fit these. So let's go out and have a look at our first problem, shall we? If we look up here, we can see that I've had to kind of shim the camera out just to get over that massive chunky washer jet that Land Rover decided to put on. But not a problem, we are getting a part 3D printed for that. So hopefully that should bring the camera out just enough so we can see the back of the car where we're reversing and not have a huge plastic bit blocking our view. So let's have a little look what's going on. So we've got the CarPlay on. Yes, I've got Teams on my CarPlay. Please do not judge me. Go into reverse and it has power. As soon as we're in reverse, it switches. So that's a positive, but there's no video signal. So it looks like the power's there, but the video cable is not sending the signal we want it to send, which I'm sure you'll agree is frustrating. So all this has got to come back off. We haven't put everything back together. As you can see, there is some cable, and we have not put all the trim back on, so we don't have to rip everything back off, but we do have to get the dash back on. We do have to try a new camera unit, so let's get cracking. Just took the top part of the dash off, took the video cable, which also has the live trigger, the reverse camera on it, just out from the dash, just checking for damage, and the cable looks fine. There's no damage that I can see on it. and it's quite rare for these sort of cables just to go. So what I've done is I've just plugged the new camera in, not the new video cable. This way we can prove the video cable's fine, and hopefully we get a picture once we touch these two. So we've got live, we know that already. We haven't got video, the cable looks fine. Let's just see if it's the camera itself. So let's give it a little touch. Live wire connected. And there you go. So, process of elimination, it looks like that the camera was at fault. The video cable's fine, the live's fine, the camera itself was damaged. So either that's just a faulty camera, but I don't think so. Maybe we've given it a bit of a whack, or we've been a bit not been as gentle as we should be with the install. So now we're just going to remove the camera, and these are really handy. If you look up here, around about here, the cable comes through the thread. So what we're going to do is use a little brake pipe spanner. It gets in there a bit tighter, and you can feed the cable through the spanner. Makes life a little bit easier for us. Just removed the old camera, and I can't see any obvious signs of damage, which is bizarre. These are the very crude mounts that we're just going to extrude it for the time being. They're going to get replaced by the 3D printed part. That's going to look a bit more OEM. We'll get that painted up. I'm not sure why it stopped working. I can't see any physical signs of damage. Very strange. Please ignore the dirt in the back of here and the muddy wellies. It is a Defender. Shut up. It's meant to be like that. It's a Defender. We've refitted the new one up in place. Now we need to just connect it up and see if we get a picture. Hopefully now, with the camera mounted, please work. Hey, we've got a picture. We have a picture. Fantastic. Just doing the cabling now, routed it behind the dash. Something to be careful of if you're doing this on your Defender is just some of the components behind the dash. You have got obviously sharp screws coming through. You've got this mechanism as well, which I call the Safari Fun party flaps. But as you can see, that may chafe on cabling. So make sure, even maybe wrap it in some foam tape or tape, or just route it round it. You've also got some of the wiper mechanism here. You don't want your cabling getting caught up in that. Also, up the A pillar, you'll see here where the trim screws in, you've got some very, very pointy self-tappers. So just be careful of them going through your video cabling and even your washer jet wire. And it's kind of a strange position to put that in. Sharp bits, mechanical bits, plus cables can be a bit dangerous. I might even cable tie it or just double-sided tape it above it all. We don't want the Safari Party Fun flaps destroying our cabling, because that means all out again. All rerouting, not fun for anyone. I think I'm going to have to invert that image, which I can do in the settings on this. You can also cut, I don't know if you've seen earlier, there's a white and there's a blue cable. Cutting one of those, it does say in the instruction manual, that will 180 your image. You can, I think the other one mirrors it. So I'm going to get back to putting the dash back on. Last time we did this, it stopped working. Not sure why. Right, let's get back to it. We also we just blew this reverse bulb as well, which is fun, just to add to the list of the problems. Right, all the trim is back on. We're going to see what happens now. If this doesn't work now, then I'm going to petrol bomb the car. I think that's the only thing for it, because I do not want to put trim back on. I did check it before I put the trim on, and it did still work. So if it doesn't work now, let's give it a go. Hopefully. I'm happy with that. I think we need to go into settings though. We want to rotate this, because those parking guidelines are the wrong way around, right? Settings, cameras, camera selection, front recording, rear view camera, rear view mirroring. Is the camera the wrong way around? Display rear view. Let's try mirroring. My brain's not working. No, the cars are upside down. I think we need to snip one of the coloured wires to get that image 180. I think. I don't know. Let's just turn. There's got to be a way, right? We don't need that. We've got a bit of a skill issue. I'm trying to figure. My brain's not working. Do I need to? Should the car be down here and them cars be? Should it be 180? I'm not sure. If I cut the wire, it's going to be more work to redo it if it's wrong. My brain is just not working here very well. No, that's wrong, because that's showing the car on the BMW on the right, which is incorrect.
2,000 years later.
Maybe we just cut the wire. I've read the instruction manual, and without ripping all my trim off again, there should be somewhere along here a white wire, which we have there. To flip the image 180, it's telling me to cut it. Watch me instantly regret this. Let's just diffuse this bomb. So the white wire is disconnected. Let's try again. Right, so I think the way I've mounted the camera is I mounted it upside down just because of the way this car's configured. Usually I think it would go under a bumper the other way. So hopefully now the cars should not be upside down. Loads better. We can kind of see where we're going to crash into now, which is a huge positive. No, I'm happy with that. Good stuff. So the camera's working again now. It's functioning fantastic. We have got the 3D printed part, and that's just going to bring that camera past that washer jet, let us see behind the car a little bit easier with the spare tyre in the way. So we're going to get that painted up, we're going to fit it to the car, and hopefully it should look a little bit OEM plus. You can get the aftermarket swivel cameras on the hinge. Personal preference, I think they look a little too aftermarket. This should hopefully make it look like it was from factory. So let's go get it painted, get it on the car. So it's all sprayed up now. It's fitted to the car. We won't bore you again. You've seen this camera on and off several times. Personally, I quite like it. It looks like it was made to be there from factory. And it brings the camera out past that washer jet, past the tyre. So what we'll do is we'll jump in the car and have a little look how it looks on screen now. So we're back in Captain Crowley's Thunderbird. Straight face. A Toto.